is where you show off the first strong performance, where you can set the first foot into proceeding into the upper bracket, for example. I mean, if you lose here, there's still a second chance. You can still go to the lower bracket and you'll have a match later on today. This is a really interesting ban. It seems that Vitality has banned Knock, an operator that allows you to sneak into buildings, sneak into objectives. So, no more sneaking into an objective like CCTV through the dirt tunnel. That'll be for this game. Team Secret, on the other hand, they ban Thatcher. Well, that's a common factor we've seen so far. I mean, Thatcher's an operator that sees a lot of bans, and, well, this is no other.
If it's like 80% worldwide, something like that, Thatcher gets removed. And, you know, it's not like the change came in for Nook where she would be able to sneak past the beepers. There's, of course, a bunch of them on the map bank, but not really the case here. They might have had some troubles with people sneaking past the chems indeed. This might also indicate the way that Vitality wants to play, with using, for example, Yokais and Valkyrie, Black Eyes, and potentially the Evil Eyes of Maestro as well. So a heavy information game, which Nook could completely bypass.
Oh, but they end up banning the Valkyrie.
They do indeed.
That's interesting.
That is definitely interesting. So it will like, as I was saying there, I was like, there is still an opportunity Valkyrie is going to get banned. But indeed, she did get banned. Still other operators on the line, though. Bulletproof Chems, of course, got a small buff as well, using that EMP dart where you can deny other pieces of utility with from the attackers. You gotta keep all those things in mind. That might be something they're trying to build around here.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of other information that you can get. Valkyrie has been more of a common ban as of recently as well. You know, there's a change coming for her, but that isn't implemented just yet. So a very strong operator you can get a lot of information from, especially on those long hallways with a lot of clutter. You can just hide the cameras pretty well. So having no knock there makes it easier for the defenders to spot out all the attackers. And I'm not so surprised by the 6th pick coming out from Slubin either. 6 picks into the Jackal. As I mentioned during the pre-show, it is a very roam-heavy map. So just being able to spot where these roamers might be will definitely speed up your attack a lot.
Yeah, the Jackal's basically one of those default picks on Bank when it's available for, first of all, a lot of ranked teams. It's like these roamers that can be so annoying to deal with, and you know, picking up that Jackal really helps you with flushing them out eventually and pushing them back towards the side or picking them up as they try and rotate past you. Now, as we do see a lot of the ADS being placed right behind the tellers area, that probably means that there will be some form of contention coming down there from the defenders, someone trying to potentially play right behind it, or they hope to catch any projectiles that will be tossed that way to hopefully get rid of potential new jammers right behind that wall. You never know if they want to get a grenade over to get rid of those pieces of utility. It looks like, however, that Secret is going to go for a very heavy top take first, use that top-down clearance, and with that, use the sledge as well for that verticality.
Yeah, exactly. With the sledge, you can open up a lot, especially above open area. There's a lot of vertical lines of sight you can create. Also for the lobby control that they might want to get later on into the round. So now joining out the top floor here, there are some roamers of Vitality on the top floor. Biboo's put down all his ADSs around the lobby desk, but is hiding in the front desk together with Rise in Janitor, trying to hold on to the top floor. This top floor control is essential, as you mentioned, with obvious that they want to deny them from being able to make those vertical lines of sight. And a very standard step that the teams are doing right now is open up towards the long hallway so they can create a line of sight to force players to not be able to rotate through the hallway. Whoever's going to spot the Janna is going to do some shots, but is putting them all now into Gomfy. Gets the first kill here for Vitality. I don't think they drawn that out properly. I mean, there were some jammers as well, so information gathering not going too well for the side of Secret.
It's definitely a missed drone coming through there. They spotted out a player inside a Janitor, wanted to go for that hard. However, Vitality plays this heavy roam game. P4 inside a stock, and we have Rise inside a Janitor, and while BU hiding right around the corner here on the front desk, was able to pick up that very first kill. No response, however, coming down whatsoever when his first shots missed, and as the SAM cams are being destroyed right now, it's Vitality trying to hold on to that top floor. Important to mention though, Kento was open up. P4 was playing on the stock area. That means he is currently being isolated just slightly. As Keenan is trying to get an angle here through the back wall here. Gets that first kill on Bibu, but knows there's probably going to be 2 more.
Yeah, that's the refrag coming out there, but Slim picks up a kill onto Rise as well. Seems that the advantage has been more towards the side of Secret. Still 2 players onto the middle floor as well. I think the top floor defense is now completely gone on the side of Vitality. It seems that the players of Secret have now gained that top floor control. This is where you start using your Sledge. This is where you start using the Jackal to spot down more of these operators, because together with all those nades, and also nades that the Yana had, which are now gone, you can do a lot of damage away from above. Still, all those Mutjammers really interfering with the utility coming out from Secret. The Argus launchers are really being used to the top of their potential, because the Mutjammers kind of blocking the vision a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely is, and the last 30 seconds are coming around now. A lot of time has been wasted here by Vitality, and as grenades are flying over to hopefully get rid of the Mutjammers, that means that the X-Cars can now pop off. Will create a small opening as flashbangs come over as well. As Cactus that is now completely blind. Will need some support from his teammates, but the question will be, is he going to be receiving it? He's stuck between a rock and a hard place here. He's not going to be able to pick up the very first one as P4 strikes back. It's a 2-on-3 situation with just 7 seconds left on the clock now. They need to get that diffuser down, but Slabin is just putting it down on the ground now. It's Shinka that has an opportunity to try and cancel it out. It gets the down, but needs to get the second kill as well. He's far away. It's a one-on-one post-plant situation now. One is injured. He knows that, confirms it. And now he needs to find the very last one. The rep pings are coming in. He knows they're out position, but Sleben wins the gunfight nonetheless. And that is the very first round going towards Secret. Starting off with a missed drone, somehow still turned it around as they knew exactly where these Vitality players were.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fact that they were able to transform that, disadvantage that they had with the opening death into the round win as well. There was constant information coming out of where the last 2 players of Secret were. We constantly saw those rep pings of their locations in Kitchen. Well, they still managed to win out the gunfights right there. At the end, it didn't really look good for the players of Vitality either. There were no more C4s, 2 or 3 bulletproof cameras, and that's where all the rep pings were coming from later on with that planting spot. So information being a really essential point. I mean, they're bringing out the Echo right now, or at least hovering the Echo. Just 6-picking the Vamai into the pools. This kind of shows they're going for a Lockers defense, and they're looking to use that pulse to probably stop a plant or get some information of where these attackers are coming from.
Yeah, of course, Pulse is quite a good operator to get information as well. Heartbeat can give away a push quickly if you manage to do it quite softly. A lot of shotguns actually going off to restructure some of the sites down there. Hatches being reinforced, all quite default as the lines of sight are being opened up. Now, there is a bit of a discussion going around, not per se by pro players, but some say that the chunk is actually better on this site than a smoke. Considering you can get all the way from the B bomb site, you can bounce it into the default bomb site if you manage to line it up on the little emergency access sign that you unfortunately cannot see right here, but it's somewhere over where our observer Stefan Easy is currently hovering, which gives you a lot more time you can stall. Either way, also going to be the Nitro cells of Rise and Shinka available to them. They can also use those to stop those plans from happening. They're really expecting here that it will be a server take.
I think it's really interesting that I didn't necessarily pick or 6-pick the Echo, because now the cams are obviously visible towards the attackers during that pick phase and during the reveal phase. They have, well, a shock drone. Obviously, the Echo cams are a lot more visible right now, so you don't need an IQ to spot the Echo cams out. But I'm looking to see if they're actually going to get rid of them, because when they're going for that 20-second execute and they're looking to get a plan down in those last few seconds, the last thing you want to have is an Echo drone right above your head, cancelling that plant out for the final few seconds and you not being able to retry that plant. But once again, it's the players of Secret. They're going for that top floor control. We already see Keenan on the top floor, busy reconstructing out the CEO out lounge and generators as well to break those lines of sight to make sure he's got quick rotations if they ever get pressured by a defender. However, there isn't really a lot of defenders upstairs.
No, there's no one upstairs, and often this is a very turtle-heavy site. The defender, I mean, you see going away the most is going to be the Warden here, Rise behind that shield on the blue stairs. Now, it has some ADSs to help, but even if those fail and flashbangs are hopping around the corner, you can activate those glasses to get rid of that stun effect and still actively fight the members of Secret with that English shotgun, which is just so devastating. We all know about it. And as the Pulse is trying to figure out where the Hibana's currently going, you just said it, Keenan opened up all these rotations. That saves you about 20, 30 seconds if you need to travel to complete sites. And that is a Twitch drone just taking care of every single piece of utility. Rise is kind of surprised by that and gets a grenade on the shield right now. Knows flashbangs might be following soon, though.
Yeah, I was mentioning it's going to be really hard to take out there, but goes for the shotgun shot, does not manage to hit them. However, does a lot of damage onto Comfy, but it's Comfy to win the gunfight, and he gets the kill onto Rise. I was going to mention that he's got a really secured spot on top of those blue stairs with a lot of, like, a shield and ADSs, but I don't think they were really expecting that shock drone to just hop in on the bottom of the blue stairs. Keenan, however, has got a really nice line of sight now, and P4 is also being heavily pressured into server. All the hatches above him are being opened, so lots of lines of sight being created. Goes for pre-fires here and there.
2 grenades.
There's no really player. The grenades coming out, does a lot of damage onto P4. Still he manages to dance around the lockers.
Yeah, he needs to continue dancing here because grenades are out to come around the corner. They have it. Keenan picks up the very first, and that leaves only 30 seconds left. It is not a lot of time. There's still smoke canisters on the board. There's still yokais right in place. They know exactly where this push is going to be coming from, and that means that Secret needs to go for the kills here. They cannot afford to just go for the plan. 20 seconds and still counting down. Packball has that diffuser, but he's currently not inside the lockers. I believe he might be going over towards the other side of it. No, not actually. It's going to be Sleben that just goes down. It's a deep plant in the corner, but Packball needs to go off. There's 5 seconds on the clock. It's just Cactus, but he does get hunted down. He's not allowed to go for the Yokai player, and it's Secret that yet again wins the round, even with the amount of, well, denial that was available here for Vitality.
Yeah, exactly. The positions that the players of the Vitality had seemed like they were really strong and that they could really hold off a lot of control for a long period of time. I don't think they were really expecting that shock drawn. Obviously, Rise's power position there on top of the blue stairs being taken away quite quickly gave the players of Secret the opportunity to take control over lockers. They took care of P4 behind the lockers really quickly, or really well, with the nades and everything coming out. You saw him dancing left, right, center, pre-fires, trying to get some damage or any pick really, but he wasn't allowed to as he got his end by one of those grenades. And like you mentioned, they needed to go for the kills at the end because there was a lot of information or utility denial coming out still from Vitality. All the players were in really safe spots. The Echo was in the middle of garage. The smoke player was literally prone in the other objectives, trying to make sure they weren't getting picked off. You saw the players of Secret push in quite aggressively for those kills, get the last kills, and well, they have a solid start on Bank so far.
It's a very solid start, those 2 rounds, and I think, as I said, like 25 seconds left in that case. They had all opened up all the hatches. It was just a synchronized drop from 5 different positions, trying to make sure that they would get the kills. Every single one of them would win their gunfights, and that's exactly what happened. With, of course, the last man, Keenan, hunting down the Yokai there, just making sure that the Echo was not allowed to use them to win the round like that. So well played by Secret. Good actual information game from them. They knew where the defenders were, they knew where they were set up, and they just dropped right on top of them and managed to win the gunfights. Now, that is going to be round 3 underway. So far, very good start for Secret. Whereas Vitality, they need to step it up a little bit, and P4 will be back on that roam together with Bibu, trying to make sure that they can hold them off for just a little bit longer on that top floor.
Oh, I think there's a mute jammer on that wall where Bibu is currently sitting, so creating that line of sight onto where Bibu might be is going to be a lot more difficult. They have to get rid of that mute jammer, for example, with one of those Argus launchers, because this round they didn't bring the Twitch, so they won't have access to the shock drones to get rid of a mute jammer. Obviously, with a shock drone being in the radius of a mute jammer, it's quite difficult to get rid of it. But Bibu's still holding on to the top floor, this time, however, in a different position than he found himself last time. He was in the front office last time. Right now, he's just dancing around. Little double reinforcement right there. I think Sleben has some kind of information of where he might be. Goes for a little pre-fire, but hasn't been connecting any of the bullets just yet. And Kendra's just holding off any of the rotations for players of Vitality. P4 also around the stock office. Right now, they're again wasting a lot of time, and so far the players of Secret haven't really gotten any map control.
See, this is the thing, right? Vitality is very sufficient in wasting the time of Secret. However, Secret is just winning the gunfights right after. And I think it's fair to say if we would have gone to Coastline on the last map, the way it's currently going, would have been favoring Secret. But it is only round 3 underway. And just that very timely hatch drop there saves the life of Bibu. But that means that Comfy is now trying to hunt down the very rest of them. But I believe everybody dropped down towards the actual site. Yes, indeed. So no one left on that top floor. 75 seconds left for the eventual execute to get on. And well, Keenan will start and open up some of these verticals with the caber, with the sledgehammer, to make sure that they can put some pressure down. The question, however, will that be too late? As Shinka pops up, a Nitro is going to be able to pick up the entry kill right here. And this is also important. It's a man advantage for the final execute that will be coming very shortly.
Yeah, and a sets of nade that they can't use either. We saw the Jackal scan coming out onto one of the positions of the Vitality players as well. So just trying to open up some lines aside or make sure there's no debris in his way. Or he was looking to get a drop there, but that isn't really looking in his favor just so far. Again, they're looking to open up that quad wall towards Kitchen, but again, there's Mute Gemmers. They'll have to use those nades like they did last time to get rid of the Mute Gemmers. However, this time they won't have the Sledge, they'll have the Yana do that with the nades. But they also still have those secondary Heartbreach gadgets in the hands of Packpool. However, a lot of time's been wasted. 20 seconds still left on the clock, and the wall is just about to get open. They need to rush in, but look at that. The smoke still has one of the smoke canister. This should be just enough time. Rice getting one kill onto Gumfier, getting traded out right immediately. 4-3 right now. The defense of the advantage definitely in the hands of Vitality. Pepper gets taken out as well. Only Slabin getting injured, so Kendrick finds himself in a 1v2. Does not have the diffuser. Time is run out. So this is 4-1's one round in the hands of Vitality. They finally managed to win that round in open area.
Important to mention there that the death of the Sledge was more impactful than it might have seemed, because there was a castle barricade still on the Kitchen double door there that stopped the final approach. They had no way of opening it. They had to cook another grenade to potentially open it up. Would have just costed too much time. Rotation was called, and eventually no more opportunity for them to make it into the site. And with that, it is Vitality that will win their first round here on Bank. Still need to find a couple more. 3-3 is potentially what they are looking to find right now, the way it's currently going. Secret, of course, wants to find a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I think a few things that really worked well in the way for Vitality is obviously they were able to save Bibu's life by the timely headshot that he did from the top floor back towards that middle floor. And obviously the fact that they killed the Sledge kind of not allowed the players of Secret to open up a lot of opportunities for the site. They had 25 seconds left when that quad wall wasn't even open yet, so there wasn't an entry onto the site. There was still players left. There was a smoke canister still left that could wait out that last 10 to 15 seconds. So it looked like a very detrimental situation for Secret. We praised them on them winning their gunfights even when they're in a disadvantage, but this time they didn't really win their gunfights to close out that round as well. Still, a 2-1 advantage on your attack so far after 3 rounds isn't really bad on Bank. Now Vitality is allowed to show a new site. They're not going to go back to lockers. This time they're going to try and defend CEO, and the little problem that we might have here is it obviously allows you a little bit less to roam. You can roam downstairs, but well,
you can use the nitros potentially, right? You can try and find a default plant spot if you find yourself losing control, but what we see more is that there is a increasing challenge coming around from the front desk towards the top of square. See the castle barricade in the middle of the 2 bomb sites there is often accompanied with a bunch of holes right next to them, as you can see there as well on the side of the rise. Allows them to challenge that front door from a very long angle with these zoom scopes. Now, there's not many on the board. I think Castle might wear one. I'm not sure if Cactus plays it. Maybe the MP5 can also use it right there. It really depends. That is the one of Bibu, of course, not the one on Rise. To use those long angles, but it really forces them to get rid of the castle barricades on the sides. And there is no Zofia, there is no Ash. They need to use these grenades, as they have now successfully done so, but that leaves you with less grenades left in the end there that you can use to get people out of areas like Janitor, for example.
Yeah, utility that really costs a lot for the attackers right here. They have a sneaky shock drone onto the side that gets taken out by Rice. Again, a lot of bulletproof cameras coming out on the side of Vitality. Before it's got a nice angle to get the opening kill onto Kendra. That is the Hibana off the board, so very detrimental, as the only heart breaching that they can now rely on is the heart breaching gadgets in the hand of Packpool. Diffuser also drops, so that means the players of Secret will have to regather that diffuser. And also one player of the disadvantage make it 2, as Rice goes for the swing and gets that kill onto Slabin. Now the Twitch gone as well, before being taken out though by Keenan. Still an advantage that you see on the side of Vitality. Well, the square take that Secret was trying to go for isn't really working well.
No, it's definitely not working well, but it's kind of the point. They open up these long lines of sight so they can challenge everywhere they go, and it forces you really to go for a bit of a lobby take every now and then. But as people does get taken out, we're back on those, level peg and score lines. It's a 3-on-3. Keenan has an opportunity to open up further with the big sledgehammer. The question, of course, is do they want to give the side of Vitality an opportunity to rotate back out, as he's taking a small amount of damage right here, and extra smoke canisters are being deployed to save Janitor. They do not want Keenan to go in that way. They force Packbull to take the gunfight instead.
Yeah, Sink is in a good position to deny some control coming out from the players of Secret. And now the fact that they've got rid of that mute jammer allows them to gain a little bit of more information on where these last players of Vitality are. Yellow Ping's coming out. Packball goes for the swing and picks up the kill onto Cactus. Now Shink has lost his last smoke canister. Gomfy still rappelling on those windows, denying a lot of information, a lot of rotation possibilities. Packball getting a kill onto Shink, at least Rise in a 1v3 situation. Little to no HP to play with, but it's Gomfy to pick up the last kill. So another round coming out for Secret. They're looking really solid. They're winning their gunfights, and they're taking the map control where it's needed.
To be fair, I'm going to say it the other way around. I think Vitality looked quite solid until the gunfights start happening. Secret, they weren't really able to deal with the setup that much. They just won the gunfights instead. It was Vitality that had a 2-minute advantage, but instead they tried to go for the gunfights left, right, and center. They peaked angles they didn't have to. They could have played more passively. But Secret, they made good use of that. They had the drones, they had the information, they pinged the player and went for the pre-fires. And as a result, they managed to bring it back from a 5-on-3 to a 3v1, which favored them highly. And that is something Vitality is really not allowed to let happen. They need to make sure that if they have that advantage, they start playing a little bit more passively. It's okay if they get into the site. Just have crossfires for when they do. Take them when they are, instead of taking the gunfights one-on-one. And that is currently what's happening more than just this round. They've had the advantage. They had only 20 seconds left on the side of Secret, but time and time again, they managed to just get away with it due to a lack of passiveness, you could almost say, from Vitality. They want to be aggressive here. It's not really working out because Secret, they're winning those gunfights. And to that extent, Secret indeed does look really well. Their gunfights, their gun play is really on point here today, whereas Vitality, I think, you know, their setups, they force Secret to go for these gunfights because they just cannot punch through them.
No, but like you say, maybe Secret's a bit struggling to get rid of the utility coming out from Vitality. The one thing they do really manage to take out well are those mute jammers. Every single time, the mute jammers aren't really stopping the players of Secret to get that information or to use their Argus chems and everything. So just by either shooting them down or using the Argus launchers, they're getting rid of the mute jammers really well. Another really annoying factor is that Gomfy was constantly rappelling on the north side windows. He had a lot of lines of sight being held down, like defenders had no opportunity to rotate whatsoever. So having that player on that window the entire time can be really annoying. This time you'll see Cactus in the front desk. Might look to challenge the player rappelling on those north windows the entire time, because having someone there just denying all your rotates doesn't really allow you to sit in a comfortable position for if you're a Vitality player.
Definitely doesn't. A lot of flashbangs, grenades, and a Gun 6 are being used here. Yeah, once more to get rid of, oh, there it is, a bulletproof camera and a castle barricade. So well played by Secret there. And it's a very heavy repel side, as you can currently see. I think it's 4 people out on that eastern side, whereas we have just Keenan on the balcony with that sledge looking to make an impact elsewhere. Now, what Secret needs to do is find an entry. They need to find a weak spot in the defense here of Vitality. And they've just created one. They just got rid of a lot of the castle barricades, which means that the bomb sides are currently unplayable. They need to be in the front desk. They need to be in stock. They need to be in Kanto and Janitor. They cannot be on the site directly. And this gives Keenan a way to actually go for it. A plant's coming down with the cover of the smoke as P4 is just holding tightly. Doesn't know that he's currently being pushed slightly by Keenan. And there's 45 seconds left on the clock. It's a good play here from Secret. Quickly played. They're outside again. The diffuser is on the board, and it's just up to Cactus now in a 1-on-4 situation with just the clock ticking down. Secret, that gets that very final kill, and it's them that will be picking up yet another round here on Bank.
Yeah, you mentioned they needed to find that weak spot in the defense of the Vitality players. Well, they definitely found it there. So they're able to get onto the site quite quickly, go for the plant. I don't think the players of Vitality were necessarily that aware that the plant was already going down.
Yep.
Really good information coming out on the side of Secret. I love that Argus launcher that was in the middle of lobby. There was so much information. You knew there wasn't someone coming from Banana to try and cancel your plant, to pre-fire through the closet. You knew there wasn't going to be someone running out on you or peeking you through the windows of ADM so you could get rid of the repel players. So they had a lot of information, and they kind of knew that they could go for the plant right there. And then once again, they won their gunfights when it was the post-plant situation, but their setup just looked really good. They keep on rappelling on those windows, and just the fact that now twice in a row, the players of Secret have managed to win the CEO rounds. It's a good sign for Vitality that they're going back to the middle for objective. However, this time, they're going for that all-site rotation as they're picking tellers and archives.
4 site being chosen here. That means they're going literally all the way. It's round 6. It's their last opportunity to do so. So Honest Secret has found 4 in I dare to say that last one is truly when they picked apart the complete setup of Vitality, whereas previously they just got gunfights when going their way very effectively, more so than them strategically picking apart the setup. It was them that knew no one could be in A side. It was them that knew that no one could be in B side with the cancel barricades they got rid of. So just Janitor, really, that you have to cover off. You throw those smokes, you cover the lines of sight, you're going for the plant, and that means that suddenly the roles are swapped. It's 45 seconds in your favor rather than the defenders. Now, they're going downstairs. We do see P4 on that roam, but Cactus already taken out by Slevin, who made a very quick entry here, a double one even at that, as he's already inside the printer room, the open area, quickly exiting the building, as well as Bibu, who's trying to hunt him down. He's not going to be able to find him whatsoever, and that is going to be a very good start to the 6th round here for Secret, as they only need to find 3 players left. Now, P4 gives this position away, took out a drone, needs to be very careful here as pre-fires and wallbangs will be attempted very shortly, especially all the exits will be watched, and as he doesn't carry any of these impact grenades, he will be stuck here in CEO.
Yeah, definitely playing his life here, looking to get at least 1, potentially 2 picks on the players off Secret, because they kind of need them. They're looking at a disadvantage every single time. The gadget being used to make sure he doesn't get spotted on the drones. Already danced around one of the nades, but still quite a few more on the hands of the Secret players. Pre-fire's coming out, trying to get rid of him. Shenkover picking up one of the kill off onto Slevin. Now that grenade has also opened up quite of a rotate hole for P4 to exit the CEO area quite safely and go further towards the square part. I don't think the players are necessarily expecting him to be there since he didn't have those impact grenades. We keep seeing them bringing out these bulletproof cameras where they get a lot of information with P4 to win the gunfight onto Kendra there. Quite of a slow reaction time, you could potentially say. Maybe the player wasn't necessarily aware of the Vigil already being in square, because how can he be there?
Yeah, I definitely had no idea. They thought he would still be in CEO. All the exits were being watched, at least they thought so. Not really the case in the end, though, but they knew he fell off now. Gomfi repelling in, taking a lot of damage from the Nitro there. Basically puts both sides in equal points now, even HB, but it is just going to be Secret and needs to hit this side. Packball is quite close. He's playing around the open area where Slevin, of course, had a very early entry, and now he's going to try and use these angles against him. New one was in the elevator, but a drop already came through, so he's just holding the angle now whilst there is not a single player out there, and he might actually rotate back up the main stairs, but he could also choose to go all the way to the other side. The ping does come through, though. They know one is right here near the Beeper's area, and as Bibu is just waiting patiently for his turn, this is exactly what Vitality need. They're in even numbers right now. Bibu is not over-aggressing. He's playing this smartly. They need this second round. Shinka is holding a very close angle here as well. There's not really an entrance that Secret feels comfortable going through. Argus cams are being deployed for the dead players to watch. They need to figure out if the side is safe to go through. And as they surely get the call now, no one is directly onto the side. It's 13 seconds left and P4 taking yet another gunfight. Gomfi goes down. It's only up to Packbull now. He swings around the corner, but he's not able to win the gunfight on Shinka. And that means that Vitality is going to be able to pick up their second round here on Bank.
Yeah, I think especially the Vigil's been a really important part for Vitality in this round. He was kind of stuck upstairs in CEO, and you saw the players of Secret try and deal with him with the grenades, with the information coming out, but then obviously you're a Vigil player, you can just hide yourself from these drones. That grenade, very unfortunate for Secret, as the grenade kind of bounced onto the double wall in CEO, allowing the Vigil to escape, and I don't think that the player entering square was even aware of the positioning of the Vigil. Once again, Vigil can't necessarily be spotted on drones if you use the ability, so just him being there and getting that pick, he whiffs his gunfight a little bit when he drops to square and the person tries to enter Tellers and Archives, but that's fine. You have the information, you know that the player's on site. You mentioned there wasn't really any entrance that the players of Secret felt comfortable with. Well, there wasn't really a lot of time to play with either. Yeah,
they just had this small opening in the side office right into the Archives that they knew was semi-clear. They had the Argus cams in there. They could see that there was no one in sight directly. However, crossfires are always that danger. And Secret, well, they still have those 4 rounds. They're still in the lead currently here on Bank and in a very good position to just lock this off as well in the next 3 to 4 rounds. That is probably what they will be aiming for themselves. As they go into that bottom floor, we also see a bulletproof cam coming out, but not as many as we constantly saw Vitality play with. As of course, we are on that bottom floor. You wanna and you need that denial, so the smoke will be used for that. We also see a Nitro coming out from Gomfi, but no pulse to guide it because, well, I don't think they need it in that case, right? You'll hear the plank coming down, you know exactly when it needs to be tossed in.
Yeah, exactly. You know we need to toss it in, so essential for the C4 player to play safe. Gomfi has access to potential any of the drones that he's capturing with the Mozzie pests. And once again, players of Vitality, they're also looking to take this top floor control. They're rappelling on the north side of the windows, droning out CEO and everything quickly. A lot of information coming quite fast, so P4 is already on top of the square stairs. One of the players was at the bottom of the blue stairs, also holding on, not with a shield this time, however, with a shotgun close, face checking the players that might be entering the blue stairs. But top floor control is taken quite easily by the players of Vitality.
Then that's allowed. I mean, it's the bottom floor, and they probably are aware of that due to the other positions being droned out. And that does mean that there is unlikely or not often going to be a player all the way roaming to the top. There is some footsteps being spotted out, though, but Bibu, I believe, realized that he went back down. And instead is going to use his drone to try and figure out if he's playing close around the corner. Not the case right now, as it does take out the default cam. However, there is a player just slightly down on that staircase, holding very tightly. Rise, opening up all these rotations. What I was talking about, saves you about 20, 30 seconds if you need to rotate across the building multiple times to do your job. For example, as the thermite to open up some of these hatches. Important to note as well, Rise not carrying those heart breach gadgets. That is due to the fact that the Hashinka, of course, available as the Hibana opening up the rest of the hatches.
Yeah, exactly. There's been changes in the kind of lineup that they bring in. They're bringing the Brock instead of the Sledge, for example, which now allows them to open up vertical lines of sight onto blue. But there's a lot of utility that assists Packbull onto holding onto this power position on top of the blue stairs. While my magnet's also helping him to stop utility coming in from attackers. First smoke are being popped now, and he escapes that position on top of the blue stairs. Only to come back later on again with that shotgun. More drones being taken out though, so less information coming out for the players of Vitality, and they're not really taking care of this position on blue stairs. Not really managing to take care of it whatsoever, but they have this hatch open. No assessment really coming out on lockers, so it's just Packbull denying them that entry here. Another flashbang coming out, but 2 ADSs there should be enough to stop all this utility coming out. They can't take control of the blue stairs, so they're rotating now.
Yeah, they have to rotate around. They're also not feeling comfortable with the drop, and that means they need to start dropping these other 2 hatches. Rise, very smart here if someone actually holds this hatch, because they need to come back into the side at some point, and you might be able to just catch off the rotations as a result. Now, the first gunfights are starting to emerge here on the main stairs. Gomfi is playing close around the corner near the actual elevator here as the hatch does get opened up. He's playing quite closely here. The drop comes through, and that's a free kill, and the diffuser dropped in the middle of the elevator. That means they now need to go for that, but there's not enough time left. It's Rise trying his best here to go for the gunfights every single where he can, but he's not going to be able to reign in supreme with Secret that win the round and put themselves up to 5 here on Bank, which seems to be a very quick map so far.
Yeah, and I love the power position that we saw coming out from Packbull on top of the stairs. I was worried that he didn't have a shield there to protect himself from grenades and everything coming in, but great usage of the Jaeger ADSs as well as the Vamai gadgets. He was kind of quick with putting out his smoke canisters as well, but it kind of stopped the attackers from face peeking him, or face checking him kind of when there isn't a shield to protect him. So great utility usage coming out. So they were able to hold on to it for so long that Vitality ended up needing a rotate, but there wasn't really anywhere else on the map what they have worked towards getting an entry onto the site. So it looked like a rushy part. They dropped the hatch. Didn't expect the player to be sitting underneath the hatch. Well, as you mentioned, the diffuser drop. Well, you can't really retake it if all of your players are in other positions. So going for some desperate gunfights, but well, it wasn't enough at the end.
It definitely wasn't, and you know he might look like he might have used the smoke canisters a bit too early, but I don't think he did. Right? It was, as you said, to stop them from running in, because you know they throw in 2 flashbangs. That's often when the third one comes in and they go for the swing, or a grenade comes in and they go for a swing right after. And that smoke canister really stops them from committing to that with too many players. And if it's just one that comes around the corner, you can easily take that with the shotgun. If it's 2, the second one will take a major amount of damage from that smoke canister. So, good play there by Team Secret. No need for the shield in the end there. And as they're swapping it up to the open area here, they're not going to that top floor just yet, but a small roam will be in place. It's Gomfi placing some of the pest here to stop the drones from truly coming in effectively. But I think he instantly fell off right after. So he's just trying to waste some time. He's just trying to catch these drones as they come through the window. That's going to be the very first one already. He's not going to be able to take it out because it fell right over the edge.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate indeed, with the Mozzie Pest denying some information coming out for the players of Vitality. Once again, they're looking to get this top floor control. Already rappelling on the southern or the northern windows of the building, looking to see if there's any defenders. I mean, the chances of a defender being on the top floor now are a lot bigger since the objective is on the middle floor. But I think the players of Secret are playing this quite horizontal. A lot of players on site, which means they're basically giving away the control into the players of Vitality. You have Rise on the buck, you have P4 on the sledge, so the opportunities to create vertical lines of sight definitely there for Vitality. Well, they need to start utilizing them as soon as they've created them, with potential nades as well in the hands of P4. And once again, they bring the Hibana as well as the Thermite, but Keena's already brought to lower HP.
Yeah, Keenan, of course, trying to rotate out, got caught off a little bit there by the C8 of Rise, and it takes a small amount of damage, but it's not going to be too worrisome. He's still alive. He still has the opportunity to go for the gunfights. The bigger trouble seems to be coming down from the archives right now. It's Bibu that has inserted himself inside. There is some of these rotations created by defenders before, but currently not a single one of them that is trying to hold it off. And as Bibu is in there now, is also holding off the potential rotate that they could use to get back in. And that truly means that there is a bit of free play, a free reign here for the side of Vitality, where they can just open up whatever they want. Because if someone tries to come in and interfere with them, they're in a position where they can just shut them down as it happens.
Yeah, looking at utility on the side of Secret, there's no kind of utility to stop them from getting a breach done on the quad wall of Cafeteria. Right, so now creating some lines of sight, denying defenders once again to potentially rotate or sit in those safe spots. Right over at the kitchen side. Gets the first goal on the pack ball. Very important one, because that's a Maestro you evilize that will no longer be utilized to stop a plant. This means that the head wall now will also be open, and this is an entry. It's coming out for the players of Vitality. They are able to get onto the side, and one of the most important things to stop them from planting is gone with the loss of the evilized. Gomfy taking a lot of damage as well, but it's Kendra to win the gunfight from Bryce, so the Buck now eliminated. That means the Buck was on the top floor control, so they no longer have top floor control to hold off a plant after he's done it.
Keenan, a very important angle right here. Knows one is right across that double door. They need to go in soon. 15 seconds. The camera does get taken out, but the player is still out there. Misses the opportunity for the kills. However, P4 wins that gunfight. The plant now will be emerging, and it's only up to Kendra now in a 1-on-4 situation. He hops down from the top of square, gets the first kill. No, he does not. It's Bibu that picks it up, and it's Vitality that will strike back. And with that, they start their comeback to a potential even scoreline. There's still no map point here for either team. And that means Vitality still has a very good opportunity right here if they manage to continue this, streak of events that they have managed to string together over the previous round. The staff room in the open area will be attempted yet once more by Team Secret. They probably have an idea of what went wrong and where they need to be quicker, and thus want to reattempt the defense there. See if they can change it up just ever so slightly. Maybe it's a roamer on that top floor that will be guiding them to a very early pick.
Yeah, I would love for them to have Roman on the top floor. I think for especially Rise has been able to do so much destruction on the top floor, create a lot of lines of sight. He was the one to get the first kill onto Packball too. I mean, that's really essential utility that you're losing with the Evilize right there, because you can't really deny a plan. There's no more information you can easily access or give towards your fellow defenders. So having Packball being taken out so early, kind of detrimental for the side of Secret. So I would love to see if they have a roam upstairs this time. Would it be to waste time to make sure they can't make those rotates and those destruction things from above real easily, or just to get a pick on potentially a sledge or a buck, because the gameplay or the attack would be so much different if they're able to get one of those softer structures. You can't really make those lines of sight anymore, and you have to play off another entry. They're not bringing a mute or something to block them from getting the breach over at the quad wall to Cafeteria. That was a really pivotal entry point coming out for Vitality last time too, but I reckon if they manage to waste some more time above, it might not even come down to where they need that anti-breach. Time.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot of time, and I think if they manage to get P4 Rise actually in the attack, it will be quite big. You just said it, the buck and the sledge, but also just the amount of fragging power that those two players bring. Managed to take one out. P4 basically just brute force himself through the side, which allowed the plan to happen. It's a pre-placed Nitro. Bibu probably has heard that, at least I hope. There was drones coming out that should have also been able to hear that beep, but the C4 is going to blow up right as Bibu presses that space bar right next to that window. As soon as the repel comes in, actually no, just got blown up. So just scrap that whole thing. The pre-placed C4 doesn't do any damage as it got blown prematurely. And this allows Bibu to just go for a safe entry now.
Yeah, that C4 might have been a little bit too early, so no damage done to players of Vitality. However, This time they're taking the top 4 again. It's taken them a little bit longer than last time. They might be scared of Secret adapting and putting one of those defenders above to stop them from getting this control quite easily. But with this time being drawn in to get some information, make sure the top floor is exactly very clear. They have information of potential flanks coming out from defenders, because we did see Comfy on the bottom of the blue stairs last time.
Yeah.
He was trying to contest players running into cafeteria, so the opportunities for defenders to go for a potential flank later on is still there. However, this time they're sending P4 through a trip through the basement, and he might play that player on the main stairs off guard.
Yeah, he's droning as well currently. P4 is going to be able to get a very free kill here on the side of Comfy. And now he has the opportunity to open up the other castle barricade. 70 seconds left on the clock. Rise doing quite a lot of work on that top floor with the skeleton key, opening up some vertical angles to make the side cubby implayable here for the side of Team Secret. Already 1 man down. Hatches are being opened up currently as well. It is definitely looking like Vitality has something in the hands right here. They have the right cards, and as Vitality and P4 trying to get around the corner is still Kendrew, though, in a very key position. Right next to the office there. Could be going for a rotate and strike P4 and Shinka in the side if they want to go for that double door push.
Yeah, last time there weren't the players on the main stairs, but the angle that the players of Secret tried to contest them from wasn't really working out for them. So the fact that they can hold on to this long hallway right now and deny entry for a few attackers to hold up these longer lines aside, hold the crossfires, could be huge. But Bibbo taking out Keenan with a grenade here. Quite huge, as you see, for the players of Vitality. They're now able to go for the plan. Cactus going for the plan, but Bryce to pick up one onto Sleb and 2. Packball, however, gets injured, so it's a 1v4 situation for Kendrew. It's been taken out through the rotation hole right there. So 1 more round on the board for the players of Vitality.
They're starting to bring it back, and I think they knew exactly that Kendrew was in that position as soon as he moved out a little bit. Flashbangs already tossed in to force him back a little bit. And of course, Bibu left in a position where he was just waiting for the rotation to be utilized there by Kendrew. And that forces us, or puts us back at a 4-5 scoreline and a tactical pause, I believe, being called by, I would only assume to be Team Secret, as it's slowly starting to slip away a little bit here. They lost 2 of those rounds. It could just as well be that we are indeed going to see a potential overtime.
Yeah, I mean, they had a 5-2 round advantage, losing it now to a 5-4. This round potentially bring it back to an even score. You don't want to have that if you've created such a big advantage for yourself on the attacking half. I mean, Vitality themselves, they banned out the knock, and it didn't really limit the players of Secret whatsoever. They were great with the Jackal, great with the tracking of the roaming on the side of Vitality. And when you look at the other side, the players of Secret, I don't think they're roaming that much as the players of Vitality were. They're really looking to have players on, for example, the bottom floor to go for a potential flank. But Vitality also learned from it in the first time when they got this Mozzie coming up back on the blue stairs.
Yeah.
They learned from it. They sent P4 through a journey on the basement, and he caught the player off guard on the main stairs. Very early pick, but that really opens up something for the site.
Exactly, and he wasn't a drones, and a camera did get taken out. So I'm just wondering if he just didn't realize one would be right below him, and if he would have been spotted, or if that was just his own drone he was piloting around and not really paying attention to the default cams at that point. Either way, we are going back to that basement, and this is a site, of course, that has been won by Team Secret before. But that also means that there is an opportunity to adapt now for Vitality. They know what went wrong. They know where the strengths were. And, for example, Packbull onto those blue stairs, wasting so much utility, so much time. There must be a way to deal with him. And that is potentially what they're currently trying to figure out. They might just completely ignore the blue stairs and be like, all right, we're going to go for a default back push. Hold the hatches, make sure no one can rotate back in. And then we just push from the elevator and the golf hole there. Or they decide to go for a different, combination of utility, just throwing those flashbangs, throwing a grenade, or maybe even use an air jab to get rid of the player that's out there.
And saying hold off rotations, I mean, a Nomad is a perfect operator to come and play to hold off rotations possibly coming out. We've seen the players of Secret attempt to go for a flank later on into the round, so having that Nomad with the air jabs to block off staircases or block off pivotal flanking points could be really essential to get some information of where they are. You don't get the points, you don't get like, oh, the air jab's been detonated, but you do hear the sound. And the player that is also fallen back isn't able to shoot back in the next 1 to 2 seconds. So Interesting round to Secret to maybe put themselves on this first map point, but the defense has to be super strong. Last time, like you mentioned, they had Pack Bull on the Blue Stairs, really strong and managed to hold up for like 2 minutes on the Blue Stairs, but are they really able to do that the second time? Do you think the players of Vitality learn and will be able to manage this situation on the Blue Stairs better?
That is going to be the big question. Have they learned? Do they know how to deal with it now? I mean, we do have B4 in a position already where he could be coming in at some point and just get rid of that player using a grenade. They could also just go for a verticality here, open up with that caber right next to the destructible flooring that, you know, grants you a bit of a vertical angle, so you can bounce it in like that in that case. But it's always going to be the question, like, what are they going to be going for? Because Packbull's playing in the exact same position. Openings are being created yet once again by Rise with that buck. But for now, there's no attention being put down towards those Blue Stairs. The first priority will be to clear out that top floor, to clear out that first floor as well. And after that, they will start heading towards the basement after they have opened up all these hatches.
Yeah, a lot of rotations being made as well for the attackers to easily rotate between all the sites on the middle floor. This time, a reinforcement or exothermic charge also being used to open up one of the hatches, I believe, right next to the locker, so they can create some angles to have Pack Bull being caught off guard when he goes for a rotate back onto the objective. Last time, there weren't any Secret players around the CCTV locker part. This time, however, Slebin is finding himself behind the lockers, so getting rid of him there later on might be an essential part for Vitality as well. More hatches being opened up in the process, so a lot of other opportunities for them to enter the site now also being made. Last time they needed to rotate when they couldn't enter Blue Stairs, but there wasn't really any entry point to the site. This time they made sure they have these entry points, have those drop opportunities or entrances to the site. So if it doesn't work out in the Blue Stairs, they still have any other chances.
Yeah, they're just not going to go to the Blue Stairs at all points here. Packbull already has dropped back towards the side, or at least a little bit closer. And that means as the Nitro comes out, is yet again an advantage here for Team Secret. 35 seconds left on the clock. They surely will start dropping very soon as P4 is holding off that rotation, is holding off whatever entry there is back towards the actual sides. They need to get an entry first, however, on the side of Vitality to bring it back towards a 4-on-4 situation. You can lock off that one player there, but it won't matter unless you have the opening onto the actual side. The smoke canisters are being moved around now. 15 seconds. There's a player stuck inside of the vault. The Nitros and the grenades are going out, and Shinka picks up a very first kill. But as the timer ticks out, they are nowhere near a position to plant just yet. Cactus needs to jump in the window before it gets a kill, but Cactus does go down. And with that, it will be the route for Team Secret, and it will be Team Secret that will reach map point.
Yeah, exactly. They get onto map point after taking that tactical timeout. So the tactical timeout did indeed work well for them, as they were able to manage to win the locker site once again. I think this time, once again, it came down to just time wasting. You saw the Pack Bull again on top of the Blue Stairs. There wasn't really a lot of pressure coming out on him this time, but the early opening kill that they got on the side of Secret with that C4 definitely held. It was a Nomad that they took out of the board. So unless the Nomad hasn't or had not already placed her air jabs, you don't really have anything to hold off flanks whatsoever. So they went for that hatch drop. There was really good read coming out of the players of Secret where the push was coming from. It's properly smoked off, used smoke cannons as well to deny entry. And then it looked very panicky. There were about 7 seconds left. You said there was no opportunity they could go for a plan whatsoever. So they were trying to win their gunfights, but we have also seen that Secret tend to win their gunfights today.
Yeah, they do win their gunfights, indeed, and Vitality needing to get Cactus in to go for a plant and cross 2 enemy guns at that point is not really going to be very helpful with 7 seconds left on the clock. This is, however, where it gets a bit sketchy. It is 4-6. Secret need to win only 1 round. However, all the other bomb sites they have played have been won by Vitality whilst they were attacking. And that means that truly that tactical timeout they had before this round must have been to prepare them for these. And the question is, how well are they prepared for these rounds? Because Secret, they need to win this one or the next to make sure they don't go to OT. Because if we do go to OT, it's a bit of a gamble, really. We'll be ending out on top.
Yeah, this time they're already switching off the Nomad. They figured that last time it wasn't really working in their favor, so we were back on the Yana. A lot of information gathering you can do with this, but Packbull's in a really interesting spot. If they don't join him out, that could be detrimental. He's been joined out, right as I said, so that's a cast. The screw is very lovely. Means that he has to escape that position. This also gives him an indication of where the players of Vitality might be pushing from. They're looking to take lobby control at least. which would alarm the players of Secret to make sure they deny that entry right on that side. Yellow ping's already coming out to where the players might be, but I'm also seeing players around square, also seeing players on the north side Rebel, so it's a very spread push coming out from Vitality.
It is a spread push, and they need to find an entry somewhere before they really, organize themselves all around a singular entry point or two. These grenades are being used to get rid of the whoops or the Banshee devices. It's going to be P4 that is looking to find the very first gunfight here on the side of Vitality. Comfy prone in the corner inside of the Janitor is going to be completely flashed as he tries to rotate out, but P4 will be flashed by the very second one, and it's going to be the hatch that gets utilized. It's a bit of a mistake there. That should have been a free kill for the side of Vitality, but the second flashbang is what eventually caused them to miss it. It's going to be a second encounter there that just doesn't happen due to a use or misuse of utility. Now Vitality do have that top floor though. They can start opening up with the sledge and with the skeleton key to make sure that these positions will become unplayable for the side of Team Secret. However, if you're looking at the time, 80 seconds left, it's looking quite well for Team Secret.
And this is where utility starts to really matter. Shinka's being taken out by Kendrew. Utility on the side of Vitality already used a nade to get rid of the Banshee. Very expensive, you would say, for that matter. But on the other side, we've seen Gomfy being able to drop and get out of that tricky situation, but still with a C4 in his pocket, which he can use later on into the round. So Utility still in the hands of Secret to deny entry or deny a plant, which could be coming out later. But if you look at a plant, well, I don't think there's really any possibilities yet. The players of Vitality are kind of struggling to get that map control or get any footing on the map whatsoever. Now have top floor control. We see Rise busy with some reconstructing of the CEO lounge. Some lines aside as P4 is also being taken out. We saw Slimming take a little bit of damage, but Fawn's definitely in the side of Secret, but they've also lost Packpool.
Yeah, starting to look like this might be the end here for Vitality on the side of Bank. But it's looking like it might be coming back as well. 24 seconds left though. There's not much time. It's a 3-on-3. It should be an all-explosive entry onto the side, and as Cactus does open up, but it's going to be the flank of Kendrew that might prove to be detrimental. He swings around the corner, but he does get picked up. It's Bibu with a very important kill. 10 seconds left. They need to dig in deep to go for the plant, and as Keenan does pick up, or does get picked up, it's only up to Cactus to get this plant down now. Whilst Gomfy tries to deny, he fails to do so as Rice picks him up with that C8, and that puts us up to 6-5. Secret missed their first opportunity to lock off map number 1. They still have another one before we do go to overtime, but Vitality is starting to fight back, and after that very first half they had, which looked like, a little bit wonky from them, it's starting to look like they might be able to fight themselves back into this game.
Yeah, I'll be very honest. I think halfway through this round, both of us thought that Secret was going to close it out here for Bank. I mean, odds really looking in their favor, obviously, with them being able to have Gomfy escape from a very tricky situation in the Janitor, with the C4 still in his pocket, until them losing their gunfights or being picked off from angles where they weren't really expecting players to be pushing from. So, once again, it's Vitality, or this time it's Vitality actually pushing in, taking that aggression, and winning gunfights of the players of Secret. So, another chance for Secret to lock this map in without needing to go to overtime. That means that they'll have to win this round, but if we look at the history of their open area defenses, that isn't looking all too bright and shiny.
No, it definitely isn't. Vitality have been able to pick up the wins here that were necessary, and I think that last round as well, if we just quickly go back, I think it could have been said that Kendrew was a little bit too early on that flank. If he would have waited just a second or two longer, they would have been entering the side, and in that case, he would have been able to sneak around, potentially shut them down if they would have been going for that plant. So just a small amount of mistiming there. If they managed to all get that hammered out, ironed out right as we head into this very final round of the regulation time, they might be able to lock it out here with a 7-5. It's maybe not what they looked at after it was a 5-2 lead that they were enjoying. But, the win in the end is still what matters. It is not that round differential is coming into play at the end of the season like it would for EUL. It's just that you need that map. That's all that matters in this case. And as castle barricades are being opened up, it is going to be a very early, line of sight created for Vitality, which is not being used as of yet.
Yeah, Katie was very much aware of a potential rush coming out from Vitality. He was holding off the printer window, but none of the players of Vitality seem to really be outside that window, ready to prep themselves for a rush. They did get rid of the castle barricade on that window, but no rush coming in whatsoever. P4 is now managed to take control over square. Yellow ping coming out on the barricade. There's already a player behind it. Because that player shot into the direction of P4, he's already aware of Kendrew being on the middle floor. Saw one of the players off Secret on the top floor just a few seconds ago, but it looks like they're not necessarily roaming on that top floor once again. They're looking for a very horizontal hold here. Kendrew finds himself once again in this long hallway around the main stairs. Couldn't really do a lot from that last time. He found himself around tellers and archives, but couldn't really flank. Flank's not really working out for Kendrew so far, but this time he's all the way in the basement. And that could be a little bit of a bigger flank, but hey, maybe the players won't be aware of it.
That's going to be the big thing. If he is going to be able to pull it off, it could be coming in very big, especially since he is on that bottom floor. He has the opportunity to come up from the blue stairs. Now, if Vitality is going to be going for a similar kind of push, it could be coming down with a plant right behind the kitchen counter. And if Kendrew does come up on those blue stairs at the very right timing, it could be a winning moment. However, P4 well aware of the fact that a flank is on the board, well aware of the fact that that could just simply end their round before it even starts, is waiting for Kendrew to come through that door. And as Kendrew starts moving now slightly, P4 surely has heard that running skill, and there you have it. That's going to be the very first kill on the side of Vitality. Looking good now. They need to find 4 more in these next 50 seconds or get that diffuser down to make sure that they're going to an overtime. And as Keenan does get injured and eventually finished off, it is going to be the opening right now that will support Vitality as well on this very final push.
Yeah, Slevin now holding off an open area together with Gomfy. They're holding off the entry that is now created by the players of Vitality into the kitchen cafeteria area. P4 on low HP, trying to peek the lines aside, trying to get a easy pick here. This time they have the sludge to open up that barricade, trying to get rid of the evil eye as well. Bibu here on a very off angle, could pick some people off Secret, off guard, if he chooses to pick the gunfight at the right moment. Play is very exposed to that window, but it's actually the player with Cactus to walk in, drop the diffuser right onto the side. Slevin goes to low HP. Gomfy finds himself in a 1v4 situation, finds Bibu, gets the kill there as well, sees the bug right on his side,
no,
but missed the pistol shots, gets the injury on one of them, but not enough. The plant was going down in the meantime as well, so unfortunately not enough that he could do right there. We're going into overtime, but this route was very messy and very interesting.
We are going into overtime indeed. I'm not quite sure if it was the bearing 9 that went for the injury or the actual pistol that was being used out there from Gomfy, but it is 6-6 and that is what matters. And this might be, you know, a nice feeling for Vitality, because if you're looking at it, they are on the attack. It is Lockers that comes out first. They haven't been able to win that yet, but they failed twice. That means there might be something on the board here in terms of improvement. But more importantly, that means that there is going to be another site played that hasn't been won yet by the side of Team Secret. And that could be the winning factor. Now, the Monty is a change I like. The blue stairs they have been unable to take. What's a better way than just shove them out of it with a big shield?
I'll be honest with you, I think that last one could have been a bit of a mental breaker for Secret as well. They looked really solid. They didn't have Packbull being taken out quite early. You saw all these little holes above the quad wall to cafeteria ready to impact trick those exothermic charges coming out from Cactus. And this time Packbull was alive. He was able in that position to impact trick it. He went for the impact trick, but the exothermic charge still went off. So the fact that Utility is not able to stop it and you're not able to put as much effort or as much into that as you want it to, so the wall still gets opened, that really breaks your mental. Then losing a round that you probably should have won, that you were meant to win maybe 3-4 rounds ago, that really breaks your mental.
Yeah, that's it. That is the point where you're looking back on. When you remember the good old game of, I believe it was Secret against Gamma back then. They were called the Fuse Kids. They were meant to win that one round, and afterwards it all went down south on Clubhouse, and we all know it as Beneluxers. That is a very unpleasant day, but there is still a potential for redemption here on the side of Team Secret. They have the very first defensive round. That means that if they do win this, you know, they're only coming up against a Vitality that won only 2 rounds on their defense themselves as well. So there's definitely some good opportunities here as Bibu unfortunately misses his drone up to the roof. He's going to try again. There we go. Is it going to yeah, it's not through the skylight, so that is a big win.
Yes, but there's a hole in the skylight so we can get it.
Yeah.
Anyways. You mentioned like, oh, you want to win as many rounds on defense as possible. It's quite of a trend that we're seeing both attacking teams go 4-2 on their attack and split on this map so far. So, however we said, there's a lot of opportunities for roaming. I don't really see the players of Secret roam to an extent where they can really matter in taking control over map zone or denying access towards pivotal players like a Rise or a P4. I mean, they're both on 10 kills already. They're getting these kills because they're able to open up lines of sight, because they're able to cross off rotates or cross off standard default positions that are being brought out by Secret. So being able to stop them early into the round could mean so much for Secret, but they're not able to.
This is interesting, right? They're not using the multi to get rid of the player on the blue stairs, but Bibu's actually looking to push down to the dirt tunnel. Now, he might be able to dislocate Sleben and force him to rotate through. Now, if the hatch is being watched, he might be able to pick up a free kill as a result here, and after that, Paco could be challenged from two different angles as Rise just walks in as the canister deploys, as Bibu, now that has a player right next to him, is going to be able to get picked up. However, the knife somehow did come through. The multi no longer there, but it's a 3-3 situation, and suddenly the servers are under control here for the side of Vitality. Looking at the utility still left on the side of Team Secret. Nothing currently. The C4 already has been used. That means they need to go for these gunfights. The reverse plan is surely to come in very soon. This could be the game changer here for the side of Vitality if they do pick up this round. There is still a player right above this hatch. Shinka could be dropping in at any second, trying to challenge the player that's all the way in the back of red. B4 can do the exact same right here as he goes aggressive with the flashbangs just raining in. It's a kill to come in on the side of Secret, but P4 quickly changes that one around. The diffuser has been dropped. It's another kill to come through as well. It's only up to Shinka now. Knows one is in the garage. One was all the way on the backside. Kendrew still manages to salvage the round here, but as they managed to get the player onto the blue stairs, suddenly it was a lot of panic on the side of Team Secret.
But this is huge for Team Secrets because they managed to win that defensive round once again, which puts them again on a map point. They found themselves on a map point before quite a few times in this bank map so far, but being able to win that round definitely helps their mental too, because that's quite unfortunate if you're literally reloading your shotgun and there's someone pushing you, going for that face check that you haven't been expecting in the past 2-3 times that you were defending the top of the blue stairs. The Monty, I don't really think it was that powerful or that strong coming out for Vitality. They're able to take control over the locker service area, but well, the Monty died there.
I think the point of the Monty was that as soon as they start pushing the smoke, you would be walking into the servers as well to get rid of the player that was right behind the server stack. That gives them that opportunity, like you divide the attention in that case, which allows you to potentially pick up both those kills. However, they quickly danced around him and got him a knife in the back, which unfortunately doesn't help you for the rest of the round. I think he was meant, the Monty was meant in the end there, to pick up the diffuser and go for a reverse plant and use that shield as, you know, the turtle shield, and make sure that any bullet that comes through is not going to be impacting you that much. And 45 seconds would be on the clock for your team in that case. It failed in this attempt. They will not be going back there at all for their attacks. So no second tries, as the win already is there on the side of Secret. All Vitality needs to focus on now is bring it to a 7-7. They could go all the way to 15 and potentially lock it off there. Now, we do see a site that has been won by Secret on the back of just pure gun skill. That is a little bit worrisome, but Vitality have warmed up quite well into this game. And if they can show that during this round, we should be going to round 15.
Yeah, exactly. Look at players like P4 and Rise. They're both on 12 and 11 kills, so definitely winning their gunfight so far in this map too. It's been a few minutes since we saw Vitality defend this site. They had a really strong upstairs hold. We saw P4 dancing around bullets, dancing around drones and grenades on the top floor before. He's able to do this once more. Spots at the drone and gets rid of it too, so that's a lot of information denial already coming out for the players of Secret. It's essential that they get P4 out of this position right here, because if they don't, they can't start working vertical lines of sight. They can't gain any further map control than just the windows of CEO. P4's got a really good angle, still is taken out by Sleben, so the opening kill for the side of Secret. They still have their utility, they still have the Jackal with all the footsteps or the scans and everything, so the fact that they took P4 out, that's huge.
It is a big kill indeed. He knew one was to the upside down, he just didn't expect it to come back to bite him that much. was looking to find a way to success, was looking to potentially go for a jump out later on, but as Gomfi does pick up the kill into Bibu now, it is starting to look like Secret is finally going to be able to find a way to lock off this map, this match, for now at least, with a mon-map advantage as Rise gets picked up next. It's only up to Cactus now in a 1-on-5. He needs to clutch this, he needs to ace clutch this if he wants to make sure that Vitality stays into the map of Bank. As the Bank and the bomb has been found, it is Secret right now trying to wrap around the last man here on Vitality. The drops are coming through, the verticality is as well. Keenan picks up the very final kill, the good halves are coming out, and it is going to be Team Secret that leads this series with a 1-0 so far.
Yeah, exactly. 8-6 for them. They should have probably closed it out a little bit sooner in this map, but they finally managed to close it out. That is their one map advantage in this best of 3 once again, so they will still need to win another map to win this series and proceed in the upper bracket. But